Welcome, Fantasy Endgame community. It is draft time. That's right, it is for real. It's money time. So you might notice, yes, I got the green in the background. Not just to represent that this is a real money league, but honestly, it's just an excuse for me to talk about the Canes. Did you see that game yesterday? Because I know I did. As soon as we finished yesterday's draft, let's go, Canes. This will be maybe the last time I get to really be very proud of my Hurricanes because it's an annual tradition of looking good early in the season and then folding. But anyways, yeah, let's talk NFL football because the regular season is about to start. We got a couple days before week one is officially here. This is the busiest draft weekend of all for most people, and some of you still got drafts to do tonight, later, or maybe even up until Wednesday. Last minute drafts. Look, that's not a bad idea. I'll keep saying it. The longer you wait, the better. Things keep happening. So we're going to get this done right now. This is a real league, money league, but also more important than money, it's for pride. And to see who comes on top in the endgame community, this is my league. We've already done a couple. So the way we split it up, Chris already did 2 drafts with our endgame community members, some of our most loyal subscribers. And he did a regular PPR, I believe, and a best ball draft. Yesterday, I knocked out a super flex to make it a little bit different. Not enough super flex leagues out there. I really wanted to do IDP. Apparently, not enough people really were willing to commit to IDP. Maybe one day we'll get there. So we did super flex, and this is just your regular old PPR 12 team. Traditional league, nothing funky with the scoring. We're going to do 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex, and a tight end. And of course, not that you should have to ask, no kicker, no defense. All right. Well, let's get it. We're going to start pretty soon here. It is officially now almost time to go, 7:30 on the East Coast. So just so you know, here's the lineup. I'll keep myself parked up top here just so you can see everything. Keith, the beast, the weather beast, got the 1.1. Miguel is at the 2. Jeff Altoff at the 3. Ali, who this is a great time to mention, our amazing developer. We do have an app. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'll get the draft started, don't worry. But you see down there, draft lane. If you're drafting still and you need help, you want basically have Chris and I there with you alongside. The best thing you could do is use that draft pilot on the draft lane app. Our rankings are up there live, just updated them for all formats. So check out the draft lane app. It is completely free. The draft pilot is part of it. Ali's at the 4 in this league, but it's up. Vagoon is back for the 5. Chris Maiko at the 6. Anthony, who I'm going toe-to-toe with in baseball this week, is at the 7. Now he gets a chance to snipe me for some revenge. I'm 8th. Roberto is 9th today. He had the number 1 yesterday. Mac and 10. Matt is at the 11, and Amal unfortunately gets the 12. I don't think that's exactly what he wanted, but hey, it's random. Trust me, random order. All right, guys, let's get it. It's time to go. You're up. No time wasted there. No surprises, CMC. And by the way, got some new members. Thank you, Dale. Welcome. And of course, a lot of people were asking me yesterday, how do I get in one of these? Well, unfortunately, we can only do so many. I mean, we're already in some leagues, a lot of dynasty leagues, which takes more time. And so we're really trying to limit how many leagues we're in. We just did 2 with our subscribers, this being one of them. Do some more next year. Look, if you want to get in on some more leagues, some really competitive leagues with our endgame community, check out the Discord, and I'll put the link up there in a second. Start up an orphan channel there. So I will talk about that. All right, but let me make my pick. Okay. Bijan and Brees are both gone, those top 4 receivers. So now I'm in the position where I get to decide, do I take a chance in Jamar Chase, who is the logical choice here? Because there's no other running back I want to take this early. So it's, do I go Jamar Chase? Do I go Puka? Do I go, and then just take Jamar Chase? I'm not worried about him. He'll be fine. He'll sign. I think it still has to be Chase there. All right. What is up there, everybody? Wolfman, what is up? Anthony, of course, is here. Antoine, what's up, Antoine? Didn't see you in the baseball one. All right, so let's see. We got a question here in the super chat. Thank you as always. Let's see. We want to rate this team: Murray, Hall, Walker, Wilson, Harrison, Goddard, Pittman. On the bench is Waddle and Devontae Smith, McLaurin. It's a pretty good bench. Don't know, is this a 12-team league? Is this an 8-team league? This is pretty deep if it is a 12-team. I can't imagine you have those guys just on your bench. But, I mean, obviously you're beyond stacked at receiver. You got 6 really good startable receivers. You got an RB1. You got a really high-end RB2. I really think Kenneth Walker could be a fantasy RB1 this year. I mean, I don't see how this team gets better. Yeah, you don't have an elite tight end. So what? So what? It is fine. You don't need an elite tight end. And I'll say this too. I'm not saying Goddard will be a top 5 tight end this year. I don't think he will, but I'm not going to trade a stud receiver just to kind of upgrade a tight end. So I think you just leave this alone and see what happens. See how things play out. I mean, again, I don't know. Even if this is an 8-team league, which I'm guessing it might be, it is still like a 9. And then Antoine also, any big weaknesses? What about QB? No, Kyler Murray is definitely an elite QB in any format. So now Bowers was dropped. Should I pick him up over Goddard? Okay, it's a coworker league. That's why. Bowers is somebody that I really think will pay off later in the season. So I think early on you're better off with Goddard. It might not be bad to stash Bowers. I'm trying to think who you would drop, though. I mean, do we drop Brian Thomas Jr.? I mean, you got Wilson, Harrison, Pittman, Waddle, Devontae Smith, McLaurin. Is Brian Thomas Jr. ever going to play for you? I highly doubt it unless you have really, really bad injury luck. You might as well drop Thomas to get Bowers just to keep him back there because there's no way you ever would need to start Brian Thomas with this receiver core. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Go for the upside. That's right, Jay. What's up, Jay? Jay Problem, Cam Ward, Heisman. Can we just give it to him now? I would. Oh, Anthony. Okay, I see you saying there's a storm. We will make sure you don't end up with 6 quarterbacks. Yeah. All right. With what's off the board right now, Kyron is there, and it's not about the punt return thing, but Kyron's not my favorite pick this early. I mean, if I'm going running back, I'm either going my guy, Derrick Henry, or I'm just taking a swing on Achane, but I'll go receiver instead. Normally, early in the preseason, I've been going Olave right here, kind of as a no-doubter. I'm having a little bit of doubts of this whole New Orleans offense. Honestly, I don't know if I'm saying I'm moving off of him, but I actually think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Ayuk. Yeah. All right, Michael Cazares. What's up, Michael? Let's see. This is a 10-man PPR league. Benson, Deontay, Sutton, Thomas, and Jameson are all on waivers. Drop Ladd or Corum for any of them. Okay, I'm keeping Corum. Just tell you that right now. Speaking of the whole Kyron Williams thing, I like Corum no matter where he landed, even before he got drafted. I assumed he would go to a team like the Chargers, somewhere he could just slot in right away. He might have wound up even better for the Rams. We've been talking about him, hyping him up all preseason. Look, you got to hold on to Corum, and obviously Benson doesn't give you any more upside. I can't believe that Deontay Johnson is just on waivers. Yeah, I'm going to pick him up over Ladd. I'm going to pick up Deontay and drop Ladd. Sutton is a solid add too, but I'm going Deontay. It's a 10-man league. See, even in a 10-man league, how's Deontay Johnson not drafted? This is a good question. Let's go to your boy Skid 17. Is underdog ADP for my home league smart or not? No, not really. Here's the difference. And look, I don't know your home league. Don't take this in any way. I mean, you can't take it personally because I don't know you or your home league. But home leagues sometimes they have really sharp players. They can, but typically it's not going to be always competitive, right? You got friends, family, whatever. But there's no way it's going to match underdog and the people who draft on those who are paying in money to do repeated drafts. But also, here's the thing, you're talking best ball. Best ball is different. It's not completely different, but there are definitely some differences with what you're looking for in a best ball draft and in a redraft league. So it's a different beast, first of all, best ball and underdog. And then second of all, whatever happens in your home league, I guarantee will not be at all like what happens in an underdog draft. I mean, I can almost with my eyes closed tell you how I think the first 3-4 rounds of an underdog draft will go. I have no idea what happens in a home league because people will start going running back in the first round. You'll see like 5 or 6 running backs go where you only see like 2, maybe 3 in an underdog draft, typically 3. People start taking quarterbacks in round 2 in a home league. It never happens in an underdog league. So no, you can't use that. If you want a better ADP, like how you think it might go, probably better off using maybe like a Yahoo or an ESPN, kind of those more typical ADPs. Now, of course, ADP should only be a guide as to how you think the draft might go as far as what the other players are going to do. But if you want to know what you should do, you should go by our rankings. And of course, that's where the draft pilot comes in. So that's my recommendation. Check out the app, the Draft Lane app. No shenanigans here, Brian. It's totally random. Totally random. All right. Let's go. Do you have a couple super chats? Try to get there. What up, Gabriel? Trade question. The guy who has Brooks. Trade Chuba and Higgins for Rice. Well, honestly, I don't think Chuba is a big factor here. He might help you, but is he really starting for you? Not just early, but any time in the season. So I'm not going to take that too much into consideration. It's like, who do you want, Higgins or Rice? I think that's the question you got to ask yourself. I see Rice go ahead of Higgins nowadays. His ADP shot back up because it looks like he's not getting slapped with any sort of suspension. But I think I'm going to go Higgins here. I think I want the Higgins side, and especially, Chuba being part of that side too. I would rather have Higgins. Rice really benefited from being the only consistent, reliable wide receiver target in Kansas City last year. He's got Hollywood Brown missing, one game? He's going to be back. They got Xavier Worthy there. This is going to be a different kind of offense. And now Higgins, I know I'm not worried about Chase, and obviously I just drafted Chase. But Higgins is clearly the 2 there, and not really a number 3 that you think is reliable in Cincinnati. So I got to go with the Higgins side there. All right, let's see. I'm going to get some more. If you did super chat, hold tight, guys. Just want to make sure I'm up to speed on this draft. You said Josh Allen get taken. Vagoon going, I won't say 0 wide receiver because it's too early to say that, but he went double RB and then got the quarterback. Josh Allen is off the board. All right, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that have gone double RB so far. I've gone double wide receiver. Now, I'll tell you what. I actually considered Nico last round. He's still there. There's some decent running backs on the board, but I think I've got to take Nico here. Again, being PPR, I'd rather wait on running back if I can. I'm getting pretty good value, I think. Like if Brees or Bijan were available to me there in the first round, I would have taken them. Just for sure, I'll tell you that. All right, let's get to Tyler Sperry. Redraft. Is that supposed to be Kyron? Purin, I'm guessing Kyron. Trying to see if that could possibly be anything else. Okay, I'm gonna guess you meant Kyron or Jonathan Taylor. If that's the question, it's definitely Jonathan Taylor. I got Jonathan Taylor as a very early second round pick. I like Taylor as my RB1. He's actually one of the running backs I have highest exposure to in best ball for underdog. Not that it's the same thing, but still. Yeah, I'm going JT here. All right, then we got Tyler Connor. 10 team. Is that a 0.7 PPR? I'm guessing 0.75, 3/4. Okay, interesting. I guess that's a compromise between half and full. So you got Lamar, Pacheco, Cook, Tyreek, Evans, Ferguson, flexing Connor or Higgins. Okay, so your starting lineup for a 10 team, very solid. So who do you flex in a 0.7 PPR league? I think you give the edge to Higgins. And although I keep saying I'm not super concerned about Chase, you got to wonder if Chase does get maybe a little bit extra rest in week 1 because he hasn't been out there. Probably not too much, but you got to feel good about Higgins. Look, Higgins got the motivation, didn't get paid like he wants either. He's on the tag. He's got to show out. Maybe this is Higgins' time to shine a little bit in the season, especially. So PPR of any format, I still give the edge to the receiver anyways. Let's go with T Higgins for this one. Now you're asking to trade Higgins for Zay. That's interesting. Not because of the Lamar thing, because you don't have to stack in a redraft league. I do think I'd give the slight edge to Zay though, and I've been big on Zay Flowers anyways this preseason. I don't think it's a slam dunk or anything, but if you ask me Zay or Higgins, I still think I'd give the edge to Zay. It's close, but if you can do it, yeah, why not? All right, and then we got, let's see, Trevon Lee, start bench cut, JT Saquon Gibbs. We're not cutting any of those guys. I mean, who am I starting week 1? I'm going JT. I'm big on Indy's offense. I'm big on JT this year being healthy. Yeah, I'm going JT as the start. I got to keep. I'm not going to cut him. Come on, start bench cut. All right, start JT, bench Saquon, and bench Gibbs. How about that? All right. What is up? 12 team PPR. Rate my team. Murray, Hall, Gus, Marvin, Waddle, Ingram, Metcalf, Devontae, Hollywood, Ford, Palmer, Herbert, Vidal. Oh, Braylon Allen. I think that's Braylon Allen. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, so I will tell you in a second because it's my turn to pick. All right. Thank you, Roberto, for not sniping me. Was not looking for quarterback there. Appreciate it. I don't know if that was intentional. Man, all the Texans receivers still out there. T. Higgins still out there. Pickens still out there. My guy took Pickens yesterday, which doesn't mean I can't take him again. I think I got lucky. The guy I really liked this year, would have been happy with last round, is still there. That's James Cook. Kenneth Walker too, but let's go Cook. All right. So D-Rock will, let's see. This is 12-team PPR. Looking Murray, great. Hall and Gus. Okay, so you went anchored clearly because you waited for Gus as your RB2. So you should have really good receivers. You got Marvin, you got Waddle, you got Metcalf, Devontae. You do have really good receivers. Good. Solid at tight ends. Ford, that's really good. I mean, Ford, you might even put in. I like Gus week 1, right? I'm going with Gus week 1. But you're going to be rock solid with Ford. Okay, yeah, not bad. I mean, obviously your running back depth is thin because you're taking a shot on Vidal with kind of a handcuff there. Allen. So basically, you just went to handcuffs. I mean, look, nothing wrong with that. I think Ford is a really solid backup running back. I like this team. I can't find anything wrong with it. You did exactly what we preach. Wait on RB2, stock up on receivers, and I love your QB tight end combo. This is like an 8-5 for a 12-team league. It's really good. Jason, what's up, Jason Quinones? Let's see, I don't honestly see a super chat. If you did, sorry, apologies, I don't see it. But I'll get to your question anyways. Jason's always on here. Let's see what we got. What's up, by the way, Barter Mania? Thank you for the well wishes and good luck as always. Oh, I know. All right, let's do. So sorry. What's up, Andrea? Long time, of course, subscriber as well. Fantasy football is pain. No problem. Don't worry about that. You're always on here. I'll talk about your team too. So I'll get to your question in a second. But let's do this one. Surge. Got Stroud, Kyron, Cook, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, McBride, Higgins. Any weaknesses? Good upside. All right. Weaknesses, no. There's nothing remotely weak about those players. I mean, obviously, if there's a risk, it's Kyron losing some touches, potentially getting hurt. I'm not going to start getting into speculating on who might get hurt and whatever. The whole punt return thing is getting a little bit overblown, to be honest. No, you don't have any weaknesses. Do you have upside? Absolutely. Now, y'all already know, you've been watching. I'm on record saying I don't like taking Neighbors where he's been going so high because of Daniel Jones. It has nothing to do with Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is an absolute beast. He should just rip it up as a rookie. How can he in this offense? Honestly, they're just going to have to force feed him, like put the ball in his hands and just hope he can do something after the catch. But who are defenders really going to focus on otherwise? Who's stretching the field besides him? Who's opening up, lanes underneath? And they don't even have a tight end who can do that. You know what I mean? They just don't. So that's my concern. It's not a weakness, but that's my concern, is that Neighbors kind of disappoints based on the team that he's in. But, I mean, he's still got tremendous weekly upside. So, I mean, you're good. There's nothing I could say that would really improve this team. So all I'm saying is Kyron isn't my favorite RB1. I still think he should be drafted as one, but, there's guys I would take before him. And Neighbors isn't my favorite wide receiver 2, but I can't deny his talent or his upside. Yeah, there you go. All right, fantasy football is pain. 10-team, 3 receiver, 1 flex. Okay, so a 10-man league, you got Dak and Daniels. That's fine. Gibbs, Connor, Mostert, Ford, AJ Evans, Nico, Zay, Godwin. You have a crazy deep at receiver. Njoku and Muth. Who do I flex week 1? All right, obviously you're good. No weaknesses here. You got 3 receivers. You're definitely starting AJB, Evans, Nico. So you got to choose between Zay, Godwin. Don't have to worry about Hollywood or Downs week 1. So it's going to be one of those. Because of the matchup, I think, let me see, just to make sure. Because I do like Zay generally better, and he's obviously the number 1 receiver there. But Godwin, even though he's technically not the one, and I know you got Evans already, but that's Washington. That Washington defense could fight to be one of the worst in the league. I know Quinn might help turn him around, but I think I got to go with Godwin. It's okay to have 2 receivers from the same team if they go against one of the worst defenses. So I think I'm going to give the edge here to Godwin at the flex. Yeah, assuming this is full PPR. I mean, you could go a running back like Ford, but I would just go Godwin. All right, I'm up. Let's see what's out there for me. Right now I got 3 receivers and a running back. What's been going on? We got tight ends. Wait a minute. Tank is still out there. That's crazy. But I do already have Nico, running back, quarterback. I'll probably wait. No, actually, I think I might wait on running back. Maybe I'll just take the guy who was talking up. I'll just go Kirk. Can't go wrong with Kirk. All right. Try to catch up on these chats. Oh, Jason, you're talking about last night? Oh, sorry, I don't know if that's right. Jason, go ahead and put your question up now. I'll get to it. Graham McLaren. All right, rate this team 10-team. PPR, Prescott, McCaffrey, Henry, Pickman, Godwin, McBride, Moore, Tua, Dell, Pollard, Kirk, Ford, Freiermuth, Lockett, Dowdle. Okay, so for a 10-team, Prescott totally fine. Obviously, CMC and Henry, no issues there. So you went RB a little bit early. I think it's still fine. Got Pittman, Godwin, McBride. Is this a super flex? Because I see you got Tua before you list your bench. If it's super flex, I mean that's pretty good. Dell, Pollard, Kirk, Ford. Yeah, I mean you're very deep at your bench. I mean generally for a 10-team league, I would love to have a wide receiver 2 that's a little bit better than like Godwin's. Really, I mean I like Godwin this year, but more like a number 3 type, and Pittman more like a high-end 2 type. But obviously you got the studs at running back. Can't blame you for that. So I still think you're good. I mean, Dell, Ford, Freiermuth, Kirk. You're deep enough at receiver. I like Dell, I like Kirk. I mean, you got McBride. Okay, that's the other thing. I see you went tight end early because you got your stud McBride. So that I think that makes up for it. Your wide receivers are more high, super high floor than they are tremendous ceiling. I think that's fine. And you got DJ Moore is really good too. That's what you got. So yeah, for a 10-team league, I mean, really, this is pretty deep across the board. Lockett, yeah, it's fine for a 10-teamer. You might be able to find someone more upside than like a Lockett, but that's not a big deal. If this is super flex, which I don't know if it is, if you meant to put 2 on the bench or not, but yeah, this is really good. I give it a 8.5. All right, Joe. Oh, it's almost time. We got 2 teams to rate here. 14-teamer. Okay, try to get through this so I can catch up to y'all. 14-teamer, Lamar, Gibbs, K9, Nico, Andrews, T, Deontay, Reed, Caleb. Man, for a 14-teamer, that's super nice. I mean, you got 2 really good running backs. You got Lamar and Andrews at the stack there. Yeah, for a 14-teamer, honestly, that's like a 9. That's a really good team to pull off. All right, hold on. I got to pull something off here too. All right, I got 4 good receivers. Still Godwin on the board. That's tempting. Man, okay, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on quarterbacks. I think I can afford to. I'll probably take the next RB2 I feel good about. I'm going to go Ramondre. I think volume is there. I'm worried if I wait on running back, then it's going to be running backs I don't want as my RB2. And I'm good at receiver. I think I can wait and still get a really good tight end here, although I could be wrong. And I know I can wait on quarterback because I can always wait on quarterback. All right. So, Joe, your other team is an 8-teamer, very different. You should be hella stacked there, and you are. You got Bijan and K9, got Tyreek and A.J. Brown, Laporta, Pittman, Dell, Mixon. yeah, I can't complain about that either. Mixon, of course, not my favorite, but still, if he's your third running back, I mean, you can't really do much better here. So, I mean, nines across the board. All right. Antoine with another. Week 1 flex start, Pittman, Devontae, Waddle. You got to choose between these guys. Oh, man. Okay. Let's think about this. These guys are all really close, obviously. They're all very strong starts. Pittman going against Houston, not the worst matchup. With Downs, not being ready, I think that's just even better for Pittman. I love Devontae this year. You got to think, you wonder that game against Green Bay, is it going to be a high-scoring game? This is a Friday game in Brazil, remember. Are we sure Devontae is going to be featured when they, of course, have Saquon Barkley now for the first time? I think I feel better about Pittman's target share. Waddle, similar situation here. The issue is Waddle, is there anything going on? He had some undisclosed injury. This should be a high-scoring game for Miami at home against Jacksonville. It's got a pretty good defense. Let's not lie, but I think I got to go with Pittman. I think I feel best about Pittman, but obviously these guys all have tremendous upside. What is up, Mike? Michael Fawcett wants to know thoughts on Bowers this year. Too flex worthy? Not right away. And remember, he's been a little bit banged up late in training camp. He's a rookie and a rookie tight end at that. We just have to give him some time. And look, this is Gardner Minshew at quarterback. This offense is not going to be lighting it up. Okay, it's just not. So I think we got to give Bowers time. It might not take a long time, but got to give him a couple of weeks. So I'm not flexing him if I have him. I'm honestly not starting him at tight end, even if I did draft him this week. Maybe next week, we'll see what happens. So I like Bowers as kind of a second half surger, kind of like Jonathan Brooks. I'm not drafting him because I think as soon as he's active, I'm starting him. I'm drafting him so that week 9 on, he can help carry my team, assuming he can do kind of like what Breece Hall did, his first year. But I like getting Bowers, especially now. You might be able to get him at a little bit of a discount, but I'm not flexing him yet. Let's see here. Juice. What is up, Juice? Not a Taysom Hill question. Gus, Ford, or Javonte week 1? I will say Jerome Ford is such a solid start. I mean, just in general, he's getting all the touches. We already know there's nobody else in that backfield who might even touch the ball at all week 1. Not even exaggerating there. It's not the best matchup against Dallas, but he's definitely in line for a big week. I actually feel a little bit better about Gus. And I'll tell you why. I know that Kimani Vidal is a nice stash. Someone I drafted a ton of an underdog. I don't think Kimani Vidal barely sniffs the field in week 1, right? Rookie running backs, even the ones who were drafted high, they're going to be slow played in. That's just how it is. And J.K. Dobbins, how much are they going to push him in the very first game, if he even is close to 100%? I think we're going to see a ton of Gus in this game, and it's not a bad matchup. I don't feel like game strip's going to work against them. So I'm all in on Gus week 1. Ford is still a very solid start, but I go Gus. And then Javonte, I don't know. We'll see. I want to see what that Denver offense even looks like. What's up? Rise above anything. In a 10-team league, got Mahomes, Pacheco, Cooks, Sun God, London, Kincaid, Rice, Waddle, Javonte, Kirk, Reed, Hubbard, Brooks, and Brian Thomas Jr. All right, for a 10-teamer, you got Mahomes. Obviously, no issues there. Pacheco, Cook is solid. Sun God, London, Kincaid, Rice. You're all in on the Chiefs here, apparently. This is definitely not a bad thing. You got Waddle. You're definitely deep at receiver. I mean, Kirk and Reed on the bench. Hubbard, Brooks, Javonte. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with this team whatsoever. Again, your running backs here a little bit more floor than ceiling, but that is totally fine. And I'm big on Cook. I would generally prefer not to have my running back also be on the same team as I got my quarterback and my receiver. Again, you're a little almost too all in on just the Chiefs, which I know sounds like how can you be too all in on the Chiefs, but you don't want to necessarily limit your upside because not always is it that the running back and the receiver and the quarterback all go off in the same week. But that's kind of nitpicking here. I mean, yeah, this is for a 10-teamer. You got no holes whatsoever. What's up, Austin J? Stuck on who to flex between Deontay or Ford. Just talked about Ford, very solid pick, but I want to see Deontay get fed. He should be full PPR. I'm going to go the receiver. I'm going to go Deontay. This is just the start of this season where, again, he's going to get 10 plus targets, more than people even can imagine. All right. Let's get to my pick. Hold on a second here. Anthony, I probably would have taken Kyler if he was still there. Just so you know, I'm just throwing that out there. I could, like, Burrow's not my very favorite. I could get him and go all in with the Chase stack. Running back, I can wait. Could go Kittle, but I already have Ayuk, and I'm kind of tired of just taking Kittle in the middle rounds. I think I'll wait on tight end. You know what? Let's go upside. Upside wins. Let's go Christian Watson. Add to that receiver room. Like I said, I do not mind waiting on quarterback because Burrow is not an automatic for me. Look, the 3 teams. Yep. 3 of the 4 teams after me already have a quarterback. So if, Matt, you want to take Burrow, all you. If you don't, then that's fine too. And now you have to think about if I'm trying to get you to take Burrow because I want you to, or if I don't want you to. I'm trying to reverse psychology. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, let's keep going here. Jake the Snake. Baker, Kyron, Pacheco, Lamb, Collins, Laporta, Flowers, Goff, Bears, Tucker. Okay, you're saying you're starting Baker and Goff. So again, I'm assuming super flex here. That's fine. I mean, look, I in a perfect world, Baker is not my QB1. But if it's a super flex and you waited because you stacked other positions, it looks like you did. You took CD probably first, Kyron second, then some combination of Nico, Pacheco, Laporta, Flowers. You didn't say if this was like a 12-team league. If it's super flex, I'm going to assume it is. So for a 12-team league, again, as long as you can get by with that Goff-Baker combo, which think you can, I think that's solid. Now, this is a 6-point touchdown league. I would prefer to have a better quarterback than Baker, but your receivers are really, really good here. So I think this can get you by. What about Dennis Johnson? 10-team, full PPR. Hurts, Connor, Javonte, Hill, Puka, London, Kelsey. On the bench, Ridley, McLaurin, Spears, Brown, Daniels, Benson, McConkey. All right. I mean, again, just stacked at receiver. This is what we want. Is the running back room good enough for a 10-teamer? I mean, you're really hoping on Javonte to pull through here. I mean, I think Spears is borderline startable for a 12-team league. Probably not somebody you really want to start right away in a 10-teamer because Pollard is technically going to be the lead guy and you're just limiting your upside. So, like, maybe Chris disagrees with me because he's bigger on Javonte than I am. I prefer a better running back too, but especially in a 10-teamer. And I know you waited, right? This is obviously more of a 0 RB team. So Connor, I'm fine with. We'll see about Javonte. That's my only issue. Everywhere else, I mean, you're great. Everywhere else. It's just we'll see about the running back situation there. So, I mean, you're asking to rate this team for a 10-teamer. Again, I love the receiver room you put together just because the issues at RB, an 8, which is still really good. Classified. Welcome. Purdy or Daniels or drop Reed so I can have them both. Don't drop Reed. You don't need both. You want chase the upside or do you want the sure thing? Purdy. I'll tell you what, Purdy is looking a little bit risky if Trent Williams isn't out there. Ayuk is there now, but what about his left tackle? I will say right now, you might just take a shot on JD because they get the Jets week 1. Purdy probably not going to have a very good week 1, and maybe he doesn't get picked up. So I'd say right here, right now, let's go with JD and see what happens. Purdy's solid, but I don't think you're going to kick yourself up and down if you have Daniels instead of Purdy. I don't think Purdy's going to lead anybody single-handedly to a championship. So I'm going to go Daniels right now. Okay. I had this because I got my pick coming up again. Roberto, let's see what you're going to do. All right, so Amal took a tight end that I might have considered. Kittle is still there. But at QB, Burrow is still there. So is Jordan Love. Still some quarterbacks really good on the board, but are the top 3 all going to get taken before I come back? That's what I have to decide. I think I'll just buy the dip. Obviously, I'm living in a world where Jamar Chase is wide receiver 1 is my first pick. So that means let's just go with Burrow and see how that does. And there goes Kittle. And I'm fine. Look, I might have taken Kittle if I didn't have Ayuk already. And if I really had confidence, I'll wait on tight end. I don't mind waiting on tight end. Teeny little super guy. That's right. All right. So he wants to know. Half PPR. Going Ayuk, Ford, or Watson? You're talking about week 1? I mean, Ayuk obviously makes the most sense, but I am not convinced about Ayuk this week. He gets the Jets. He gets sauce. He's going to get the sauce treatment. He's been missing some time, the whole Trent Williams thing. I'm a little worried about Ayuk week 1. Not that he's outright being benched everywhere, but part of me just wants to say, let's go Christian Watson. Let's see what we can do against that Eagles secondary that was number 1, really bad last year, and number 2 is banged up because Bradbury's out. I mean, look, you're shooting for upside, right? I would hate to see Ayuk get shut down and Watson go off. I'm actually going to go, even in half PPR, I'm going to go Watson. That's where I'm at this week. If it was Debo, I would go Debo, but I'm going to go Watson. Abba Manu, welcome back, Abba Manu Singh. All right, wants to rate this 12-teamer. PPR got 2 running back, 3 receiver, and a flex. Stroud and Henry, Ford, Mostert, Benson, Corum, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Deontay, Terry, Demarcus Robinson, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Laporta. Okay, so it's a 12-teamer. You got Stroud, obviously good, Henry, and then you waited on RB2. You can use any one of those, Ford or Mostert, and then you got upside on your bench. All right, that's good. Amon-Ra, Waddle, Deontay, Terry, great. 3 receivers in the flex, so you got those 4 guys in your lineup right now. I like those picks. I mean, this looks like a team that I would draft. If you got Laporta somehow. As far as a backup tight end, I mean, I don't know. Do you really need a backup tight end right now if you got Laporta? Why not just wait till his bye week and then just pick up somebody? Don't worry about that. Do we know Dulcich is going to do anything this year? No. Nah, Synod might be a nice late season pick, but don't even worry about it. As long as Laporta's out there, just go with Laporta. Don't worry about backup tight end. And I don't think you need to pick up a backup quarterback just to have a backup quarterback. I don't want to drop any of those players just for that. So don't worry about it. Forget your backups. You should be rolling with Stroud and Laporta. No questions asked every week. Keep your squad as is. Maybe I'm feeling overly generous tonight, or maybe you guys are just really smart and draft good teams because you watch here and you stay on top of things. I'm going to give this a 9. All right. Let's keep going with the super chats. By the way, Jason Quinones, just throw me your question. I'll answer it. I just haven't seen what it is. Juice 420, 14 team PPR, Kyler, Gibbs, Gus. All right, let me scroll up a little bit. 14 teamer, Kyler's great. Gibbs, Gus, Harrison to go with Kyler, Kirk, Schultz. Oh, and by the way, got CMC. That's even better. Hollywood, Javante, any changes? Nope. Carr, you got Derek Carr. I mean, I guess if everyone else is taking a backup quarterback and you want one just to have one because the waiver wire's thin, that's fine. I don't mind that. Now let's see, like those guys like Wicks and McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey. Those guys are, going to be borderline rosterable. Let's wait and see how involved they are, what they do. Don't hesitate to drop one of them after week 1 if you want to pick up somebody who shoots up in value. And I don't mean a week 1 wonder, someone who randomly scores 2 touchdowns, but somebody who benefits from an injury or whatever. But you're good right now. I don't think you have to do anything. You got CMC and Gibbs and Gus. I love Gus week 1. I already mentioned that. McConkey should be fine as your third receiver because Hollywood is only going to miss 1, probably maybe 2 games. Yeah, so I think you're good for a 14-teamer. Very nice. Schultz is not going to have the highest ceiling, of course, but I think in this format, he should be fine. Don't hesitate to stream tight end, though, if you need to. All right, South Sea, 77. 10-team PPR. Let's see this one. Got Tua, Lamb, Cup, Barkley, Mixon, Kincaid, Devontae on the bench. His neighbors, Coleman, Harris, Zach Moss, Caleb, and Brooks. Would you trade for Dak? No, I don't think so. I mean, might feel nice to put him with Lamb, but Tua is going to put up comparable numbers. It's pretty even there. I wouldn't trade for a quarterback when you have a solid quarterback. What I might do, since it's a 10-teamer, and this is me just not being super high on Mixon, is I might try to upgrade at RB. So keep Brooks stashed for later on. Keep your receivers, obviously. Yeah, maybe if you can, I might want to switch off Mixon, Harris, some combination of them. And try to upgrade there. That's the only thing I could think of. All right. I'm up. All right, so I got 2 running backs. I got 5 receivers. Don't have a tight end yet. So let's see. You know what? Let's actually no, I can wait because everybody else already has a tight end, so I'll wait. Running backs getting thin. I'll go with a guy I like. I think Zach Moss is fine. Spears is fine. But for right now, I will go Gus. This is kind of insane. An MV, a 32-team draft this week. So you basically, I mean, I don't know. You get one quarterback and hope that it's not Daniel Jones. I mean, how's that? Do you go QB early? I imagine QBs go off the board pretty early there. That's interesting slash insane. All right, Chase Wellner is back. 12 team PPR got Kyler, Brees, and Walker. Very nice. Ayuk, London, Pittman, like that. Fryermuth, Worthy, Deontay, Dobbs, Brown, Wright, Dowdle. Okay, so you need to drop one for a kicker. Well, I mean, if you have to drop one, I think it's going to have to be Jalen Wright because he's just if there's an injury, you know. Brown's going to get touches for sure. Dowdle's the starter. So the one to drop is Jalen Wright. Yeah, you're very solid. Your starting lineup is definitely very solid. Yeah, I think you just got to drop Wright for now. Sir Capelot. I got 12 team triple flex. Tua, Hill, London, Cook, White, Evans, McLaurin, Stevenson. All right, so on the bench, you got Benson, Musgrave, Wandell, Van Jefferson has been drafted somewhere. All right. Jaden Daniels and Quentin Johnston. You're a man of much faith. You got QJ and Van Jefferson. You could probably drop Van Jefferson for somebody else, but that's a different question. So let's see. You got Tua and Hill. I love that. London, Cook and White. I think that's solid. And then Evans, McLaurin, Stevenson. Yeah, you're good. It's PPR, but I don't see any receiver I would put instead of Stevenson. I will say this. I would try to bolster your receiver depth. I mean, look, you want to see what happens week 1, 2, or something with Quentin Johnston? Sure. Go for it. I don't have that much faith in him, but let's see what happens. Van Jefferson, I'm almost positive you can drop and get some receiver who has more upside. I do like Wandale, though. I think he's worth keeping. All right. Now I will take my tight end just to not risk my guy getting sniped. I'm going to go Njoku. All right, not too bad. Not too bad. Feeling pretty good about my receiver room. My running backs are a little bit more floor than ceiling, but that's okay. Honestly, it always makes me nervous having to depend on the Bengals. Going Burrow Chase is not something I usually do. I'm taking the value where it is. Burrow's supposedly healthy. Chase supposedly is going to be there. We'll see. Anthony, I really would have preferred Kyler. So just so you know. All right. And let's show the last couple rounds here. Get to the rest of the super chats. Andres Huerta. Welcome, Andres. 10-team PPR. Got Purdy, Achane, Stevenson, Tyreek, AJ Brown, Laporta, and Connor. On the bench, Ridley, Aaron Jones, Tua, JSN, and McConkey and Hollywood. All right, now for a 10-teamer, you have Purdy, you got kind of late QB there, but Tua, you can kind of swap those guys back and forth. If you're asking for week 1, I'm definitely starting Tua over Purdy because of the matchup. But I think that's fine. You wait on quarterback, no problem. Achane and Stevenson, good. I mean, obviously you're taking a swing on Achane being that RB1. I don't mind Stevenson's in the RB2. Got Tyreek and AJ Brown. Nice. Very nice. You must have where did AJ Brown fall that you got him after Tyreek Hill? Even in a 10-teamer. I don't know. And then you got Laporta. I mean, obviously really good there. You going Connor as your flex. I mean, don't mind Connor as a flex in a PPR league. I'm trying to think, would I start Ridley this week? I might consider it. Obviously depends what you think of Ridley right now. Let's see. Ridley week 1, Tennessee gets Chicago on the road. Yeah. It's a little iffy. I guess you can keep Connor in there for now. I think that's fine. So for a 10-team league, you have some really high highs with your Tyreek, AJ Brown, Laporta. Um, if HN comes through, this is definitely a really good team. Yeah, that's my only thing. Like I said, I don't know that you always want to start a running back at your flex, but let's see Ridley, JSN, McConkey. Let's see who really steps up. I would say monitor that situation after week 1. But Hollywood might be the guy you roll out there most weeks. So I think that's good. All right, Wolfman, I'll get to some of your comments. Thoughts on Javon Baker? Would like him a lot better if he wasn't with the Patriots. Just to be honest, Jacoby Brissett, how much upside does that offer any of these receivers? Javon Baker's obviously talented. He's looked really good. He's got that swag and all that, but he needs somebody to get him the ball. And that's why, look, if I'm worried about Malik Neighbors, how can I not be worried about guys in New England? Jalen Polk could be really good, but when are they going to get somebody who can really air it out? Drake May is going to take a couple weeks before they throw him in there. And then Drake May, is he going to be good from the jump? I don't know if they have somebody there in New England who can really coach up those quarterbacks. Well, I guess just Drake May and get him, to be a star. I just think it's going to take time. Javon Baker and redraft, you don't have to think about. I really don't think you have to think about any of these receivers from New England in redraft other than Demario Douglas as a late round, just kind of safety valve, for a bye week or something. Javon Baker's very interesting dynasty stash. That's about it. Same thing with Polk, obviously. That is interesting. MB always got the hot takes. Are you the only one who thinks CD will regress? I mean, I know it's not a slam dunk he finishes as the wide receiver 1. I mean, nothing's ever a sure thing. I'm trying to think of a actual reason why he would go down, though, because I know we can say, well, this usually doesn't, or this, he did it last year, he won't do this year. But I'm trying to think of an actual reason, because if anything, really, he should go up. He's got no more competition for targets than he did last year. His quarterback situation the same. The head coach is the same. If anything, the running game being extremely suspect should make them rely more on the passing game. The defense probably not being as good as last year might make them rely more on the passing game. So honestly, I think CD could even do better, but I know that seems unlikely. All right, let's see. I got QB, I got tight end, I got 3 running backs, 5 receivers. We got 3 rounds left, so I'm going to go. Man, nobody wants Nick Chubb or Zeke. What's up with that? Man, there's not a lot of running backs out there worth drafting. So let's see what the wide receiver room looks like. There's not a lot of wide receivers I love either. And there's not a lot of time left for me to pick. That's just purely a floor play and a panic pick. Yeah, it's getting thin out there. I might wind up taking another running back just because I'm pretty solid with my first 5 receivers. I'm not as sold on my running backs. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. All right. Let's do this one. Bears Smoke Gaming. 14 PPR. Got Goff, Pacheco, Cook, Robinson, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, Jake Ferguson, Mooney, Ravens defense on the benches. I'm guessing Dobbins, not Josh Dobbs. Douglas and Dowdle is what I'm going to guess. Dowdle. Okay, so for a 14-teamer, you can go with Goff. I think that's all right because if you waited I'm trying to see here. It looks like, see, the way you list this, is that Bijan Robinson? I'm hoping, because that's who you got first, and then you got AJ Brown. I don't know if that's what happened here. Then you're good. I mean, your running backs, you're really good. Receiver, you're fine, totally fine for a 14-teamer. I like Jake Ferguson as a starter even in a 12-team league, so you're good there. So Goff, obviously, you're giving a little bit at quarterback, but I think that's okay. He can get you by. So pretty solid here. At Dobbins, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's have a pretty thin bench, though. Nice. Tyson was actually drafted by you. I would hope it was by you. All right. Jose Cortez with a super chat. Appreciate you. Let's go to a 10-teamer now. This is a PPR league. Got Dak, JT, and Mixon. Amon-Ra, Olave, Ferguson, Devontae. On the bench is Goff, Dowdle, Hubbard, Pollard, Swift, Rice. Who can I trade for to get more wide receivers? Yeah, you got a lot of running backs on that bench. So let's start with the question is who should you trade away? And then who could you trade for? So you know what I'm going to say probably is I don't think there's a huge drop-off between a guy like Mixon and, let's say, Swift, Pollard. Mixon obviously had the highest draft value in your drafts. He's going to have the biggest name value. I would try to package Mixon with a guy that you're maybe a little less certain about. I don't know how much Hubbard's draft value is. I mean, trade value, probably nothing. Maybe try to combine Mixon and Pollard to get you an upgrade at receiver. So who could you trade for realistically to get for those two? Someone's not really sold on their running back rooms. Maybe you can get someone who's solid, but people aren't really sold on. Maybe a Deontay Johnson, obviously. Maybe a Tank Dell, a Terry, an Amari Cooper, something like that. All right, I'll make my pick here. I'm still all in on Marshawn Lloyd. I'm going to take him. Now we're hearing he might even not even be on the injured report for week 1. I'm going to buy the dip. I was big on him all preseason. A.J. Dillon's completely out of the picture. Yeah, that's going to take a while before he really gets going or even has a lot of traction. But just the upside is just huge there. So I think that offsets my pretty boring floor Jaleel McLaughlin pick. Good question here. Is Pearsall worth a pickup? It doesn't sound like it was anything major, thankfully. So I don't think we got to put that in the equation. I think what we have to worry more about is the fact that he was limited all the end of the preseason with shoulder injury. Didn't get a lot of time on the practice field. Happens to be behind Brandon Ayuk, who's now back. Debo. Even guys like Juwan Jennings, George Kittle is healthy. So he's really just a dynasty stash only. If you're talking redraft, nah, he's not draftable. Not because of what happened yesterday. So down the line, I mean, you never know, but it's going to take time before they really trust him in this offense. I don't think he's worth adding. Now, if anything, well, I will say this about Pearsall. Y'all in dynasty leagues, might be a good time to buy low on him because next year, yeah, Ayuk is now locked up long term, but that makes it more likely, possibly, that Debo's gone after this year. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but they can only pay so many guys, and Debo might be next to go. So if there's a buy low window in dynasty, I will take Pearsall because obviously he's not going to help too much right here, right now. Probably not this season. Yeah, next season he'll come back strong. Agree. All right, what's up, Sean, dude? Pick one to flex. Connor Flowers Ford. Right now, talking week one. Ford going against Dallas again. That's he'll get touches. They're at home, so I don't mind him. As far as Connor, very similar in terms of probably how much they're going to touch the ball. You know, Connor, of course, more of a proven commodity, but I don't think he's necessarily in a better situation on the road against Buffalo. So I might honestly give a slight edge to Ford, but if you're in a full PPR league, I'm still probably going Flowers anyways, because he's the number one guy there, and this might be a game where they have to throw the ball a lot. So I'm gonna go Flowers. All right, just make sure going back, make sure I didn't miss anything. As far as the super chats here, if I did miss you guys, let me know and just put your question up again. All right, let's do William Mills. We'll get in the last round here. William Mills, always with us, offered a trade to give AR and Chase Brown to get Kyler, Javonte, and Brooks. I am absolutely doing that. I mean, look, Richardson and Kyler are pretty close. I know Richardson gets drafted earlier, but I'm totally fine with Kyler instead. And if anything, he's more of a safe pick. I would take either of those running backs straight up for Chase Brown. You get Brooks to stash and you get Javonte. Yeah. If you're getting Kyler side, you definitely take that. Take that right now. You put Brooks on your IR slot. You're going to be happy with that. Mason, you're asking, like, who's the best draft pick here? This is really interesting. You got Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, Kamani Vidal, all rookie running backs, late round handcuffs. I'm going Lloyd, obviously. I have a ton of Vidal and underdog, but I do have several Braylon Allens as well. But redraft right here, right now, Marshawn Lloyd has the best chance to make an immediate impact. Braylon Allen really is only having any value if Breece Hall goes down. I could see Marshawn Lloyd getting some touches, but also being a major factor if Jacobs gets banged up. And I also have probably more confidence. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it that way. I think there's a better chance that Jacobs misses time this year than Breece, to put it that way. Now, late season, Vidal could be the guy for the Chargers, but that's also a steeper hill to climb because you're banking on Gus and Dobbins both getting banged up. So I got to go Lloyd. All right, we're in the last round here already, believe it or not. Flying by here. Not as deep a league this time. The benches, guys, we're going to be fighting for waivers. That's how I like it in a competitive league. I do like deep benches typically, but look, this is one of those leagues where we all know what we're doing. So, Anthony, your last pick, and then I get to go. There's the Warhorse, Carson Seal. I got to wonder if he was going to get drafted. He sure did. So I'm going to take a swing on some upside and a player that I know I won't have to start. There's some interesting names here. You're looking at receiver. No, not down here. Yeah, Malik Washington's too deep for this format. Jalen Tolbert too deep. Demarcus Robinson I have way too much. Jalen McMillan, I'm not sold yet on Luke McCaffrey. I'm just going to go the guy I like. Josh Downs by the injury dip here too. Juice, thoughts on Jermaine Burton? I love Jermaine Burton all preseason. I loved him before the draft. I thought landing in Cincy was perfect for him. It's really weird. What we've heard about him is some talk about like readiness and whatever. I mean, he's a rookie, right? But then I don't know. He got, I don't know if y'all even saw that, some sort of like a side comment by Al Michaels, like on the broadcast, something about sleeping through meetings. And then he's like, I don't even know what they're talking about. It was really weird. So who knows what's going on there? Obviously, they don't feel comfortable putting him as a starter, but I don't think they would do that anyways. He's a rookie. Yosevich has been there. I'm still big on Jermaine Burton upside. It's going to take a while. You don't have to draft him outside of a dynasty keeper format. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows out at some point mid-season or later. So I'm still high on the talent and the situation. So I love Jermaine Burton in dynasty. I took him a lot, probably way too much in underdog. In redraft, you can ignore until something happens, though. What's up, Jordan Olson? As we get to Mr. Irrelevant here, last pick question: 14 team. Should I trade Spears, DK, and Flowers? Wow, for Jacobs and Jefferson. Yes, you're upgrading from Spears to Jacobs. Obviously, a big upgrade at running back, and you're trading 2 really good wide receiver 2 types for Justin Jefferson. I'm doing that. Yeah, the 2-for-1 thing, you almost always want to try to take advantage of that. All right, draft is over. Congratulations, thank you, Anthony. Good, that's the way it should be. I'm going to break down these teams real quick, not giving a rating or anything because this is a real league and I'm in it. But quickly, let's do this super chat before I get to those teams. Just recaps, I guess, if anything else. You can see how the endgame community drafts. Brother Pickle. Got the 6th pick in a 12-man PPR with a tight end premium. Interesting. Let's shake things up. You got 3 receiver, 2 running back, a tight end, a quarterback, and a flex. Running back, tight end, or receiver for 2nd round. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm going to say it depends who's there, blah, blah, blah. In tight end premium, yes, that does push up those elite tight ends even more. I think if you're choosing between Laporta and Olave, you got to go Laporta. You do, right? If you're choosing somehow, because this is a 12-man league, I mean, I still, even tight end premium, tight end shouldn't go in the 1st round. I mean, they shouldn't. But Laporta might not be there. So if you're choosing between Olave and the next tight end or set of tight ends, if it's like Kelsey, I'm not taking Kelsey there. McBride, I might take McBride over Olave. But then if you're talking about, let's say, hypothetically, Laporta or McBride versus A.J. Brown, Puka, I think I would still go with the receiver in that case. But then once you get right past really the top 10 receivers, maybe even right before that, if you can get one of those top 3 tight ends, I would go for them. So if you're asking me Laporta, Olave, I'll go Laporta. All right, guys, let's review these teams real quick. So Keith had the number 1 pick. He went CMC, not shockingly. Olave and Evans, Lamar, Rice, Ridley did the smart anchor thing, got a stud quarterback, 4 really good receivers. Javonte Ford, Dowdle, those guys can be fine as your RB2. Jameson Williams and Cooks. And then interesting, I know what Keith's going to do here. So he drafted Hawkinson. He's going to stash him on IR. And he's going to pick up whatever tight end he wants, or he's just going to stream tight ends. All right. He can do that because he knows how to do it. It's not a bad strategy. All right. Miguel went with Hill, Pacheco, Etienne, McLaurin, Mahomes, and then Hollywood. Got Pitts, Brooks, Samuel Myers, Charbonnet, Ray Davis, Dante Wicks. All right, so he's got the Hollywood Mahomes stack. Very nice. Got Mahomes pretty late, honestly, at the end of, the beginning of the 5th round. That's pretty good. Taking a swing on Pitts, I like it. Taking Brooks, I like it. It's very nice. Let's see. The only thing week 1, if Hollywood's out, you're starting Samuel Myers because Brooks is out. So week 1, you're definitely not very deep in terms of your starting lineup, but long term, you're good. All right, Jeff at the 3 went CD and then followed by some robust RB action and a tight end. So Kyron, Jacobs, Walker, McBride, Worthy, Jason, Dak, Khalil Shakir, A.D. Mitchell, Shaheed, Jalen Wright, Tyrone, Tracy. All right. So you kind of went hero wide receiver. It's a little unorthodox. If you think Worthy pays off right away, if you're okay with JSN as your starting receiver, This is fine. You're definitely committing to flexing one of those running backs. So we'll see. I like that you got McBride there and you're fine elsewhere. You definitely have some upside. We'll see how this goes. Ali went strong wide receiver. Sun God, Waddle, Devontae Smith, Pickens could not be a better receiver room. In fact, I think you have the best top four receivers here. Mixon and Jones and Pollard. So let's see if those guys can just get you by. You're good because you also have a stud tight end in Ingram. You wait on QB and Love. Very smart drafting. I gotta say this. Bijan Bagoon went Bijan Henry. It's a top 2. And then very interesting, waiting on receiver went Josh Allen and Kelsey. So we went basically 0 wide receiver, and then Coleman as your number 1 receiver. I want to say, if I'm remembering right, that he got Coleman yesterday too. Look, if Keon Coleman winds up being a stud, then that stack is going to pay off for you. I'm not convinced, and I would never draft Keon Coleman that early. There's a lot of receivers that were taking over him, so we'll see how that pays off. That's all I'm going to say. But then you got Reed, you got Palmer Dobbs. It's bold. Chris Michael at the 6, got Justin Jefferson, Achane, Cup, Diggs, Kamara, Godwin, Swift, Hopkins, Jalen Warren, Brock Bowers, JD. Interesting because you got a lot of experienced players there early, and then you went super young at tight end and quarterback. So you definitely got upside at those positions, and the third positions take a chance on. I mean, tight end is definitely one. Look, I could be wrong about Cup and Diggs. They're not guys I'm drafting a lot of this year at their ADP, but if they both have really good seasons, your team might be one of the stronger ones. And then there's Anthony went Brees as his hero, RB. Adams, DJ Moore, Higgins, and Cooper, very solid. Zeus, I love. Kyler, I'm in on. Kittle, Singletary, Polk, Dobbins, Wilson, Steele. Yeah, all really good here. I mean, your starting lineup is one that I would love to have. Now, I did take this team, which I don't know if it's my favorite yet. Obviously, I feel good about my receivers because I got Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, and Christian Watson. So I don't even have to think about that. I'm happy to set and forget Cook and Stevenson. So I think I'm good. Look, I probably don't have a league-winning running back there necessarily, though I know I'm high on Cook. Realistically, I don't think he scores, 12-plus touchdowns. But I think it's fine. Burrow, let's just hope he stays healthy. And Njoku, I'm fine with. And then my running back room is okay. I don't know if this is my absolute favorite team, but again, this is just me personally always questioning the Cincinnati Bengals in fantasy. That's just me. Roberto, right after me, he got Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Michael Pittman, Hurts and Andrews, very solid. And then running back, he went Connor, Monty, Spears, Benson, and got Thomas, Judy, Pop, and Jordan Mason. All right, at least you got one Niner on there. Yeah, this is a good 0 RB squad. Very solid floor at running back. Got a lot of upside early. This is a good team. Mackin at the 10 went AJB, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Rashad White, Keenan Allen, Stroud, McConkey, Sutton, Hubbard, Eckler, Lockett, Chubb, Vidal. Some picks on here I personally wouldn't make. Keenan Allen in the 5. It's fine. A little early. I would prefer Deontay or Tank, who I can't believe fell to the 6th round. Look, taking Laporta and Stroud there is fine. It's just then your receiver room, McConkey, you got to hope he's a solid 3. I think Sutton's a pretty good value there. So a couple picks I wouldn't make, like Eckler, Hubbard. Eckler, Hubbard's fine. Eckler, Chubb, and Keenan. But overall, you have a lot of talent. All right, then team 11 was Matt. He went JT and Barkley, Debo, Zay, Kincaid, Tank, Adunze, Mostert, Zach Moss, Addison, Leggett, Caleb Williams, and Bateman. I actually really like what you did there at the 11. You got your 2 RBs, and I still like all your receivers. And, of course, I'm all in on Kincaid. Yeah, I like this team a lot, actually, Matt. Well done. And then Amal didn't want the 12, but I think you still pulled it off because you went definitely 0 RB, and you committed to it. So props for that. Puka and Harrison, DK and Neighbors, Deontay. I mean, you definitely have the best and deepest wide receiver core. You can 5 straight, and they're all good. AR and Ferguson, and then let's see the running back room here. B-Rob, Chase Brown, Corum, Chandler, Irving, Goff. All right. So obviously you need Chase Brown to be startable. And then if Corum does wind up being that league winner, then you win the league. If not, you mix and match here. So you're going to have to be active on the waiver wire running back, but you knew that going in when you did this draft. But if you're going to do ZRB, that's pretty much how you do it. So excellent. Got a couple of super chats here. Let's get to this before we go. Get to John. Thank you, John. 10-man, half PPR. Trade Adams and Monty for Henry and Ridley. Okay, so it's a 10-man and that's a half PPR. I'm going to give more weight to the running back room. To go for Monty and Henry alone, I think is worth it. I know I'm still in on Devontae Adams for the most part, but I actually don't mind Ridley at all this year. I think the drop-off from Adams to Ridley won't be as much as Henry to Monty. In half PPR especially, I do take that trade. I would take the Henry Ridley side. So yeah, if you can do that, I'm doing it. And then Jordan, you want to know, am I in on Anthony Richardson? Yes, I know there's risk. Obviously there's risk, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson for the most part if I can, so I'm in on him. All right. Actually, you know what? It looks like we are caught up on all the super chats. Now we got a lot of other questions. Guys, don't worry, because guess what? We're going to be back, not with any more drafts, just to answer your questions. We'll rate your teams. We'll do your start-sit questions because it's that time. We got to figure out who to start in week 1. We're going to be live streaming tomorrow, so make sure you got notifications on so you know as soon as we go live. It'll be in the evening, and we'll answer as many questions as we have time for. Let us know how you did on your drafts. Maybe you're drafting later tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. Get ready for week 1. And, of course, we still got videos coming out to help you to set those lineups and to figure out how to win right here, right now. Thank you, everyone. Of course, thanks to all the league right here, everyone who drafted again and joined the league. Let's see who takes it. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.